Hey, good afternoon. We're here with Coach Jay Johnson, offensive coordinator of UL's Raging Cajuns, talking a little bit of football practice, and we're here late this afternoon looking at some of the freshmen. Coach, what are some of the things that we're working on with some of the freshmen here, your quarterbacks?
Well, I think one of the big things is we're trying to basically install those basic fundamentals with all the different things we do, and a lot of that really centers around their feet. We do a lot of things with drops and trying to really become their feet efficient and kind of teach them the different ways. Everything's brand new for them, and so they're used to what they've been doing for 3 or 4 years at their high schools, and so try to bring them in here and really give them those basics of our basic things that we're going to do, and a lot of it, particularly in the pass game and even the run game, really centers around their feet and particular drills and footwork, and to get their steps correct in the run game, to get the running backs the ball at the proper point of entry, to all the different things in the drop and the play action game to get the balls out on time.
So would it be fair to say that right now, with these first few days separate from the varsity, that it's as much about technique and then not just installation?
Yeah, you try to combination both, because you don't want them to get behind from what the other guys have been doing, but certainly it's that introductory learning. We talk about it all the time, how we do things, how we even go about practice, our tempos, our speed, transitioning from drill to drill. So it's a little bit of everything, but definitely a little bit more focus on the fundamentals and the basics and trying to get as much of the install in as we can while we're trying to accomplish that.
Obviously, Coach, when you start off with varsity tomorrow and everybody's together, you're not going to have as many reps. So you've got numbers this year at quarterback.
Right.
So now it's going to be a little bit tougher for these kids. So how much going into your first scrimmage coming up this month, how much of your offense are you going to have installed? Obviously, with the upperclassmen, Blaine and those guys, they've got it pretty much down.
Right. Well, I think, again, it's we'll scale it back a little bit for those younger guys, just because, they need to, I want to see them play. If you get too much in them where they don't know what they're doing, then you really can't evaluate their talents. So it's going to be a combination of both, and you try. Each person's a little bit different. Some can get a little bit more earlier, others it takes a little bit longer, and so I try to feel that out as we go through. But my key is to put them in a situation where they can make some plays and do some positive things, and we get a great evaluation.
Coach, one of the things y'all put an emphasis on in the spring was trying to run the ball a little bit more, and that's something that y'all focusing on this year. What have you seen from this group, especially your first team, your offensive line, now that they're a year older, played a year in the system now, that makes you think that you guys are going to be a little bit better at running the ball this year?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. I think they understand what we're trying to do a little bit better. We've really honed in on some fundamentals and techniques, which will improve them there. Coach Rodrigue does an excellent job, and so that's one of the biggest things. And then, the other thing that's a big part of the run game is also the quarterback and the backs, as far as putting that back in the right spot to allow the old linemen to do what they need to do. And that's one of the things between myself and Coach Lovings we've really been trying to focus on, because I think we've been lacking that a little bit, getting them to the right spot to get people to flow or not to flow in those things, and to hit the point of entry to help those guys up front.
As far as the varsity coach or the upperclassmen, what are we trying to get here this time of year, early in the fall practice? Are we working on the sharpness and getting back into the rhythm, getting back to where those types of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been a summer where they've been the focus of strength and conditioning, and you don't have any contact with them for some time since spring ball, so it's certainly part of that. But then we're throwing as much at them as we can. We expect a lot of those guys, and we want to try to improve and go places offensively and take another step. So we're putting as much as we can on them.
Now, Coach, one last thing from you this afternoon. I know a lot of people were really excited to see Terrence on the field and got the chance to see him during the spring game. We're not going to talk about how y'all plan to use him here, but what are some of the things you feel he's been able to do and he's improved on?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I'm proud about Terrence is, when you have the transfer situation, and what he had is he had to sit out for a year. And Terrence and I talked a little bit, and we said, here you can take advantage of this time, or you can kind of go through the motions. Well, the way he performed this spring, the way he's off to his start this fall, he took advantage of it, meaning he took the time when we were doing individuals and fundamentals to really try to improve some things that he felt he needed to improve upon. And so I think that's the biggest thing I'm proud of him as, and he's a player. I mean, he made a bunch of plays in the spring, and he's continuing to grasp what we're doing and doing a really nice job.
Thanks, Coach, for talking to us. We're talking to Coach, Offensive Coordinator Jay Johnson, UL Raging Cajuns.
Thank you.